Hey guys! This is Cartoon Recapped. Today we'll show you a 2009 family fantasy cartoon called A Christmas Carol. Be aware of heavy spoilers. Sit back and enjoy the show. On Christmas Eve 1843, in London, stingy businessman Ebenezer Scrooge refuses to partake in the merriment of Christmas, declining his nephew Fred's invitation to an annual Christmas dinner party and refusing to make a donation to the poor. His employee, Bob Cratchit, asks Scrooge to give him a day off on Christmas Day to spend time with his family, to which Scrooge reluctantly agrees. Returning home that night, Scrooge encounters the ghost of Jacob Marley, his business partner who died 7 years earlier, bound in heavy chains. Marley warns Scrooge to change his wicked ways or be condemned to a worse fate. Before leaving, Marley informs Scrooge that he will be haunted by 3 spirits over 3 nights. Scrooge is visited by the ghost of Christmas past, who takes him back in time and makes him relive his lonely childhood in a boarding school. The spirit then shows Scrooge being brought home by his beloved older sister Fan, who later died after she gave birth to Scrooge's nephew, Fred. Then Scrooge sees how he became an employee under the kindly Fezziwig, and became engaged to a woman named Belle, who later left him as he developed an obsession with wealth. Overwhelmed, Scrooge extinguishes the spirit with his candle snuffer cap and is rocketed back to his house. Scrooge meets the ghost of Christmas Present, who shows him the joys of Christmas. Scrooge and the ghost visit Bob's house, learning that his family is content with their small dinner, and Scrooge starts to take pity on Bob's ill son Tiny Tim, whom the ghost comments will likely not survive until next Christmas. The ghost slowly begins to age as they next visit Fred's Christmas party, where Fred insists that they raise a toast to Scrooge in spite of his cold demeanor. Arriving in Big Ben, the ghost warns Scrooge the evils of ignorance and want before dying when Big Ben begins tolling midnight. Ignorance and want manifest themselves before Scrooge as 2 wretched children who grow into violent, insane individuals, leaving the spirit laughing as he withers away by the sounds of Big Ben's bell. The ghost of Christmas yet to come then arrives, appearing as a dark shadow, and takes Scrooge into the future. He witnesses a group of businessmen discussing an unnamed colleague's death, with one saying he would only attend the funeral if lunch is provided. After being chased across London by the ghost driving a hearse and ending up in the shop of a fence named Old Joe, Scrooge recognizes his charwoman Mrs. Dilber selling the stolen possessions of the deceased. Shortly after, Scrooge sees the aforementioned colleague's body on a bed, but is too anxious to see his identity. Scrooge then asks to see a motion connected to the death, and is shown a couple who is relieved that he is dead, as they now have more time to pay off their debt. When Scrooge asks to see tenderness connected to death, he is shown the Cratchit family, who are in mourning over the passing of Tiny Tim. Scrooge is then escorted to a cemetery, where the ghost points out the man's neglected grave, revealing Scrooge as the man who died. Devastated, Scrooge promises to change his ways, knowing that if he doesn't change, he is destined to die on Christmas Day in the near future. The ghost then causes him to fall into his empty coffin above hell, but before he strikes the coffin, he finds himself back in his own room. Learning it is Christmas Day, Scrooge gleefully sends Bob's family a turkey dinner while Anonymous ventures out with the charity workers and the citizens of London to spread cheer in the city, and later attends Fred's Christmas dinner, where he is warmly welcomed. The following day, he gives Bob a raise, promising to help the Cratchits any way he can. Having become a father figure to Tiny Tim, who escapes death, Scrooge now treats everyone with kindness, generosity, and compassion, thus embodying the spirit of Christmas. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.